We have the power to create our own reality. Dream it, think it, say it, and do it. So, hello everyone, I'm Sakshi Venkat, counseling psychologist at TalktoAngel. Welcome to our channel series Clinical Disorder, episode Gender Identity. So, we have Dr. R.K. Suri sir, a clinical psychologist, with us to talk about gender identity. What is gender identity disorder?
Gender identity is one's own unique understanding about one's own sexuality. It's one's own owing to a particular sex. Now, that's a uniqueness to an individual, which may be a male or a female, man or a woman, or either or neither, or together. Now, this is uniqueness to each and every individual. That's one's own understanding about the sex. That's how we call it as a gender identity.
Okay, sir. So, what are the issues we are facing with gender?
See, as a society, the expectation of the society for the biological gender or gender at birth is the most preferred gender. Now that's how the celebration takes place at the family for a birth of a child, boy or a girl, depending upon the social expectations, biological orientations, genetical predispositions, as well as acceptability in a particular community and a society at large. Now, with that comes the birth, the gender at birth, and slowly, as the child grows, he or she builds his or her unique identity about his or her gender. That's where the challenges starts coming. If the gender of the birth do not match with the gender orientation or disposition at a later age in the adolescent and adult, therein comes the lot of challenges to individual as well as to the families.
So sir, what is gender dysphoria?
Gender dysphoria is a condition in which the person do not consider that his or her birth sex matches with his or her current sex liking or orientation. Accordingly, he or she feels that the changes are required in him or her or both with reference to the gender.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for sharing the information about gender dysphoria. So, how many types of gender identity?
There are 7 types of gender identity: agender, cisgender, gender fluid, gender queer, intersex, gender unconforming, and non-gender.
So, sir, how gender identity impact our relationship with family, friends, and all in the aspects of relationship?
Thank you, Sakshi, for raising such an important issue. The transgender acceptability in the society and the society impact on the individual psyche has been there a concern from the time immemorial. However, this is getting quite changed due to certain interventions by the Honorable Court as well as by the society understanding about the gender dysphoria and gender identity. However, still there is a lot of things to be understood with reference to relationship. Normally, the acceptance of the gender dysmorphia in the family and gender identity in the family impacts the society relationship on following things like stigma is one. The second important challenge is discarding, that the family are being not given value and they think that they do not conform to the norms. The other impact on the relationship and within the society and within the family is their boycott. They are being not providing the legal framework, legal rights and access to health and mental health. And the individual also faces lot of psychological challenges.
So, sir, I guess there are some misconceptions about gender identity. You would like to share at your end?
As far as the misconception is concerned, one of the major misconceptions is that the people are the third gender or transgender, they are born out of certain disease. These are the common misconceptions people have. This is a gender identity is a condition which may happen with any individual, any family, and we have to have a proper understanding with reference to providing psychological support, mental health care.
Okay, sir. So, what's the treatment of gender identity?
So when we talk about the gender identity, we do not say there is a treatment for the same. So because it is not a disease which requires treatment, it is a condition. Now this condition requires psychological support, change in the attitude by the society, and changes in the legal framework. Say decriminalizing the sex, which has happened under these when the article IPC 377 was annulled by the Honorable Court. The other interventions are if there are changes required in the medical interventions, surgical interventions are required for changes in the sex. Those are the new interventions which are happening in the society. Along all sides, that there is a need for a readiness of person for having a change of these the sex from the biological sex at the birth to a sex at a later stage, where one requires a surgical intervention or the urological intervention and gynecological intervention. For all that, first and foremost required is the psychological assessment, psychological treatment all along, and educating the family, providing the support to the family, also providing a counseling in the schools and colleges about the gender issues, gender conformity. That's what we suggest and recommend. So gender identity is not a mental illness, but it requires psychological intervention and support. If you or your family member or someone you know who is having a gender identity issues and challenges, they can reach out to TalktoAngel and have the counseling with a clinical psychologist and a psychiatrist. If required, further intervention and support can also be provided. So I would request you to reach out to TalktoAngel for the psychological support.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.